Aquadvantage salmon is a breed of genetically modified Atlantic salmon engineered by Aquabounty. It has been altered by inserting growth hormone from the Chinook salmon and a promoter gene from the Arctic Ocean eel pout to allow the fish to grow larger, faster. It is the first genetically modified food animal approved for sale in the United States. This has caused much debate about the ethics and safety of using GMOs. With us today, we have Morgan Kainz, who is a salmon aficionado.
I bet you can say I'm an afishionado, yes.
Morgan, is there any threat of GMO salmon becoming an invasive species?
You know, I'm glad you asked because according to Eric Hollerman, a professor of the Department of Fish and Wildlife Conservation at Virginia Tech University, the chances of GMO salmon escaping and competing with non-GMO salmon is extremely small because they're raised in land-based facilities. On top of that, the fish that Aquabounty raises are bred to be sterile females, so even if a breach should happen, reproduction in the wild is highly unlikely.
Are there any health risks to consuming Aquadvantage salmon?
I'm glad you asked. GMO salmon isn't different in allergenicity than non-GMO Atlantic salmon. This means that your body will react to it the same way it would react to natural salmon upon consumption. Aquadvantage salmon is FDA approved for environmental and food safety reasons, and actually they have a lower likelihood of introducing and spreading disease to their population than natural salmon. As said earlier, because they're raised in a closed environment. Also, I feel the need to add, they do not contain toxins, contrary to popular belief.
Interesting. How do we know whether salmon that we are eating is normal salmon or GMO salmon?
Physically, you can't tell a difference. The salmon is the same in composition, so the texture and the flavor aren't changed. But currently, there's no requirement to label whether or not salmon is GMO. The Genetically Engineered Salmon Labeling Act is a bill in Congress that has not yet been put into effect. However, its goal is to require that salmon and all other genetically engineered fin fish must be labeled as such. So hopefully in the future, this label will be the only thing telling you whether it's GMO or not.
Can GMO consumption alter your DNA?
I'm glad you asked, and I'm here to set the record straight. The chance of changing your DNA by eating GMOs is no different than when you eat regular food, and in both cases it's enormously slim. A study by Spizak and others found that fragments of DNA from any kind of food can be found in your body, but has no evidence of any gene transfer to the organism that ingested it. This is likely due to the fact that DNA transfer across different organisms is extremely complicated, so long story short, GMOs will not change your DNA.
Thank you, Morgan. As you can see, GMO salmon is a safe alternative to non-GMO salmon and doesn't differ in composition. We recommend that GMO fish still be labeled as such on all packaging to allow customers the ability to choose if they want to consume GMO salmon over natural salmon. However, don't be dismayed. It still maintains the numerous health benefits that natural salmon offers. GMO salmon also poses no threat to the environment, leaving us to conclude that the production of Aquadvantage salmon presents a safe and sustainable alternative to natural salmon.
Almost 2 minutes.
Because she can't stop coughing! Go get water.
The non-GMO
That natural salmon offers. GMO salmon also poses no... Stop posing.
Atlantic salmon. The GMO salmon. Atlantic salmon.
I'll turn the production of Aquadvantage.
Thank you.